Hi, I'm Joseph, co-founder here at Tolar, and I'm excited to walk you through the process of obtaining Bitcoin and transferring it once it's in your possession. First, I'll show you how to purchase Bitcoin through an ETF using a traditional brokerage like Charles Schwab. Next, we'll explore how to buy Bitcoin directly through a crypto exchange like Coinbase. Finally, I'll walk you through transferring Bitcoin from Coinbase to a self-custody wallet like Coinbase Wallet. Please note that everything I share today is for educational purposes only and not financial advice. Always do your own research and consult with a financial professional before making any financial decisions. Let's get started. Acquiring Bitcoin via a US brokerage or retirement account is very straightforward. Simply log into your account and purchase the ticker symbol, just like you would with any stock. For example, I'll search for the Bitwise Bitcoin ETF, ticker symbol BITB. Enter the quantity I want and execute the trade. It's really that simple. Just remember, while ETFs are convenient for investing, you don't actually own any Bitcoin directly. Instead, you hold shares in a fund that owns Bitcoin. Now let's look at acquiring Bitcoin using the Coinbase app and transferring it to a self-custody wallet, like Coinbase Wallet. While both the Coinbase Exchange and Coinbase Wallet are developed by Coinbase, holding Bitcoin in the exchange is more similar to using a traditional bank. In contrast, holding it in Coinbase Wallet gives you full ownership and control, more like carrying cash. If you haven't already, feel free to pause the video and use our Getting Started checklist to set up your accounts. For this example, we'll be using the Coinbase Exchange mobile app as well as the Coinbase Wallet mobile app. Let's dive in. I've started in the Coinbase Exchange app by tapping on Bitcoin, and you'll see the buy and sell button at the bottom. I then enter the amount of Bitcoin I want to purchase, $100 in this case, tap Review Order, and Buy Now. The Bitcoin will be delivered to my Coinbase account immediately. Now, here's where things get interesting. If you have traditional currency in Coinbase, you can transfer it right away. But if you're buying Bitcoin directly from your bank, there might be a delay while Coinbase receives the funds, which can take about a week. This is where you might first notice the difference between using traditional currency and cryptocurrency. This moment can be a huge realization. It's when you truly feel how much more efficient and direct crypto can be compared to traditional banking. Let's now take a closer look at how fast and easy it is to transfer our Bitcoin from Coinbase to our self-custody wallet. Back on the main Bitcoin screen in Coinbase, I now tap Transfer instead of Buy and Sell. Here, I want to send Bitcoin, so I'll paste in the public address of the receiving wallet. Remember, we learned about public addresses. They're like your street address. Anyone who knows it can send you Bitcoin, and it serves as your pseudonym on the blockchain. In this case, we're sending Bitcoin to the public address starting with BC1Q and ending in HD7J. Next, I'll select how much I want to send and preview the transaction. On the preview screen, we notice the send time is about 5 minutes, and there's a 40-cent network fee paid to the Bitcoin miners who are securing the network. I'll go ahead and send now, which brings up the final confirmation screen. Now, let's take a look at what's happening behind the scenes. When we view details, we see that the transfer is pending and will be complete in about 4 minutes. Why is this? Well, let's check out the blockchain in real time. Remember, the blockchain is completely public. You can see every transaction that's happening and has ever happened. To view the blockchain, we like to use something called a blockchain explorer, which is like an internet browser that makes the complex technology easy to navigate. For Bitcoin transactions, I like to use the blockchain explorer called mempool.space. You can type this into your browser and follow along if you like. Let's look at the receiving address on the blockchain, the one that started in BC1Q and ended in HD7J. We can see there's a $0 confirmed balance and a $49.99 pending transaction. Great! Now, let's tap into the transaction and see how it's progressing. It's currently unconfirmed, which makes sense. That's why our balance is pending. The blocks you see on this page represent the blockchain being extended in real time as Bitcoin miners confirm new blocks of transactions. Now, let's fast forward 20 minutes and see what happens. Okay, now we have two confirmations, which also makes sense because Bitcoin's algorithm is designed to mine blocks on average every 10 minutes. So after 20 minutes, 2 blocks have been added to the blockchain, including the one with our transaction. If we go back to Coinbase Wallet, we can see that we've received approximately $49.97 worth of Bitcoin. And if we go back to the Coinbase exchange, the status has changed from pending to completed. With each new block added to the blockchain, on top of the block containing our transaction, the transactions become more secure. Think of it like building layers of security around your transaction. The more layers, the harder it is for anyone to tamper with it, as each layer is secured by cryptographic puzzles. For everyday transactions like buying a cup of coffee, 1 or 2 of these security layers might be enough. But for something big, like buying a car or buying a house, you want to be extra sure that your transaction is locked in and can't be undone. That's why the gold standard is to wait for 6 layers of security, or 6 confirmations. After 6 confirmations, which can take about an hour, it's practically impossible for a transaction to be reversed. At that point, you can feel confident that the Bitcoin is secured where it needs to be. Now, you might be thinking, waiting 10-20 minutes for 1 to 2 confirmations just to buy a coffee? How could Bitcoin possibly be used in everyday life? This is where the Lightning Network comes in. The Lightning Network is a technology designed to make Bitcoin transactions much faster and much cheaper. Here's how it works. Instead of confirming every small transaction directly on the blockchain, the Lightning Network allows you to open a private payment channel by setting aside some Bitcoin as collateral. Think of it like opening a tab at a bar. You can make as many transactions as you want within this channel, like buying multiple drinks, and once you're done, you close the tab and settle the amount on the blockchain. This approach reduces the amount of transactions that need to be processed on the Bitcoin blockchain itself, making everything faster and less expensive. Now, let's see it in action. Here's an example of a Lightning invoice from a merchant. Let's say a restaurant owner. This is essentially the bill the merchant provides to the customer. Let's take note of a few things. Lightning transactions usually involve QR codes, making them quick and convenient for both parties, without the need for those long public addresses. You might also see the amount listed as 50,000 SAT, or sats. So, what is a sat? A sat, or Satoshi, is the smallest divisible unit of Bitcoin. It's similar to how a cent relates to the US dollar, or euro. And 100 million sats make up 1 Bitcoin. This makes a lot of sense because the Lightning Network is designed for small, everyday transactions, where using whole units of Bitcoin would be very inconvenient. Now, let's complete the transaction. I'll open the Coinbase app, tap transfer, and instead of copy-pasting a long public address, I'll scan the QR code from the Lightning invoice. Coinbase automatically fills in the address and the transaction amount. On the preview screen, I can see the send time is now less than 1 minute, and the network fee is just 3 cents. Perfect. I tap Send Now, and the receiving party typically gets the Bitcoin almost instantly. This speed and efficiency make the Lightning Network a pivotal innovation for everyday Bitcoin transactions, bringing the promise of digital currency into our daily lives. So, whether you're investing through an ETF, using a crypto exchange, or managing your own self-custody wallet, understanding how to navigate Bitcoin transactions empowers you to take control of crypto with confidence.